This is verse 25 of the 16th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus here once again intimating to the disciples that they are reaching the end of this period of time in which they have been with Jesus in his humanity. And as he is going to be departing, and of course they are feeling some sadness about that, Jesus assures them that actually they're going to be much better off as a result of Christ departing, because he sends the Parakletos, who is going to be the means not only of convicting the world through their testimony of sin and righteousness and judgment, but also of making a much more full and complete disclosure of the significance of Christ to the disciples themselves. And it's on that latter point that we really have the further explanation found here in verse 25. So Jesus says tauta, the demonstrative pronoun. This is the word for these things, standing here substantively. So these things I have spoken. It's in the accusative plural. Neuter, so these things in. Unusual word here, paroimiais. This is from paroimia, which means something on the order of a proverb or a parable or a comparison, similar to the word parabole, a parable, which of course is much more common. This word is only used a half a dozen times or so in the New Testament. It's a combination of para, which means alongside, and the oiomai, deponent verb, means to think. And so to think alongside is the literal sense of it, and from that is extracted some notion of a comparison. So these things in comparisons. Leilaleka, from laleo, I speak. This is the first person singular, perfect active indicative. So I have spoken in parables or in comparisons these things, who men, the indirect object, to you, the dative plural, second person pronoun. So I've spoken to you. The point here Jesus is saying is that as much as I've said, even at that, it's only been at best, you might say, by way of comparisons, sort of oblique proverbs would be the implication of it. The point being that as the Parakletos arrives, there's going to be a much more full and complete understanding of these things than they've even had being in the physical human presence of Christ. So he continues, erketai, from erkamai, I come. This is the third person singular, present active indicative. It comes, hora, the hour, hote, when. This is a conjunction, uketi, an indeclinable adverb, no longer, in, paroimiai, same word as here, no longer in these comparisons, laleso, from laleo, I speak. This is the future, first person plural, or first person singular, future active indicative, who men, to you. Strong conjunction, Allah, and then parasia. Similar word, but not the same at all. This means open. It's actually a noun used here in the dative, so it transforms itself into something like an adverb. You might put the word openness might be the sense of it, a noun, but then you put an ly at the end, turn it into an adverb. So openly would be the notion, but openly. Peri, preposition, takes the genitive, to patros, concerning the father. Apangelo, from apangeleo, to declare, to show, to make evident. The word angelos, of course, and other words have their roots in this. I will make these things known to you. So even though up until this time I've spoken to you somewhat obliquely, would be the sense of it, no longer in such a way will I speak to you, but there's going to be an openness concerning the things of the Father that is going to be disclosed to you. And in the context, of course, we infer from that Jesus is referring to the work of the Holy Spirit, who is going to have this kind of revealing impact in their experience not many days hence.